Wow. All I can say is wow. And woo! OMG, it's like the 1 year anniversary of when Paradigm Shifters began. 1 year ago, August 10th. Wow. Just wow. Wow, wow, wow. And that's all I can say is what a gift. What a gift each and every one of you are. As of this morning, it's 1,140 beautiful souls coming together globally, dedicated to shift and uplift the planet. 1 year ago, when I had this divine idea, I'm like, I wonder, August, I'm going to take you on this little journey, a time machine. We're going to go back 1 year ago, August 2020. Have like this divine idea, like what if what the planet needs now is a global connection, knowing that we're going to do this, we're going to do it one day at a time, no matter what comes. And boy, oh my gosh, look at all the events that happened since August 2020 to now 2021, OMG. And how we've all changed. We've shifted and uplifted. And I thought, okay, here's what I don't know what's going on. No one does. But I do know one thing that I have a abundance of are connections. So so we started off, it was Tish Hartwell, like, we can do this. And she came on. And then Brigitte Tan, I'm going to show you a lineup of all of the people. We have had 51 guest speakers, 51 over the course, every Tuesday, every transformational Tuesday, they've come on. And so this is a celebration, gratitudes and wins. So grateful to continue this journey into year 2 as we unfold and uplift. And you know what? One thing that I do know is that each one of you is a beautiful soul shining your light out into the universe where you happen to be. So just think about that. 1,140. And let's say each one of you has influence or your vibration over, let's just say 10 others, more like 100 others. I know you guys are powerhouses. And so that's like 10,000, 100,000 souls. And I know it's just a number. I know it's a number. And sometimes we are not shining our light. We're shining our light. Yeah. Right? And that's okay. That's okay. Because we hold and we uphold each other. Now, I want to take you on this little journey and appreciate each one of these beautiful souls over the past year. So here we go. Take a deep breath in. Gratitude for breath. So this is Paradigm Shifters' first anniversary, August 10th, 2021. Resilience. Resilience, right, Doorbox? Yes. Every one of you has a story and brought to us a story of resilience all through this past year. So Grace Calvinese, our 19-year-old. All of these are in the guide sections, and we're all on YouTube. 19 years old. Graduated, kind of, in the class of 2020, kind of. And if you haven't heard it, she was talking about the journey of the 19-year-olds and her generation. And she led us through this beautiful meditation for her generation. Bam! Look at that up. Crystal Liggins, yes, the powerhouse, who's meditating, teaching people meditation in Washington, D.C. Go figure. Washington, you see, right in the middle of Black Lives Matter, in the middle of like January 6th, in the middle of that, Crystal Liggins, another light. Check her out. Oh, these are all people we are definitely going to have that to say where they are now. Crystal Liggins. Oh, I love it. I love it. Ah, Snishnaristic. This is my grandma friend, great grandma friend from Slovenia. And she was talking about her great grandchild being born in the pandemic, right? This is last year. And what's going on in Slovenia? How are they dealing with it? You know, what's going on there? All uplifters. Ah, Kit Holmes, Reverend Kit Holmes. Yes, and her powerhouse messages and music. And how music has uplifted us this year. Wow, there's one like there. A star is born. Kit Holmes. Check out her music and this YouTube. Ah, Adelita Trinchoco, my buddy from Santa Rosa. And guess what? How's this for a mom raising an infant and toddler during the pandemic? And her gifts, gosh, his mama gifts to not only, I mean, her family, raising his beautiful child and her husband. Bam. Gosh, I got the best friends. Ah, oh yeah. And this was me. I just filtered right in, reboot your life. Or I guess I'm a light, yeah. Okay, rebooting it from Waverly, Texas. Okay. Oh yeah, Tara Brown, man. Bam. The cyclist. It's her story about overcoming an accident, you know, and stronger than ever, you know. Bam, Tara Brown. All these lights. Ah, Derek Butler, my friend too. Oh, my musical buddy. Yeah. Oh my God. And his story about his, I mean, I've cried through each one of these weeks. But Derek, oh my gosh, of his story going to help his grandma rebuild her house during the pandemic. He's such a sweetheart. Oh, and we are also dancing buddies. Yeah. Oh, yes. This was like January, Rise and Reemerge. Yes, another one. Ah, Dr. Sally, the 70-year-old crowd coming and reinventing and speaking out. That her and Pete Vargas's group. Yes. Ah, and Charles Thomas, the master of forgiveness work. And I remember during Black Lives Matter, when all that was coming down, like who could come on and give us hope? Charles gracefully came on and led us through the forgiveness meditation. And he's, you know, Unity Temple of Detroit in the house. Ah, yes, Diana Carmelian, Hawaii in the house, talking about food. And she's a chef and her passion and healing through food. Ah, and also the Hawaiian vibe right there. Wow, what a week that was. Ah, yes, my buddy Laura Meeks talking about, yes, her transformation, you know, and this, I mean, they're all very, very powerful. Go back and check out Laura Meeks. She's my like Air Force buddy and like the military coming in and transgender stuff. Oh my gosh. Fly high living right there, Laura Meeks. I'm getting a big grin each time. Ah, yes, Dr. Brigitte Tan and her, she's one of our earlier ones. And also, right now, I'm on the board of directors for the International Children with Cancer charity, ICCC. We're looking for board members and people to help us out. The charity to, you know, to empower children and families after the cancer, you know. And oh, anyway, lots going on here with Dr. Brigitte. Yes, my buddy, also a dancing friend. Ah, Karen Beers, one of my clients, as well as, you know, farmers market, longevity, whole health, beautiful, beautiful soul, and writing a book as well. Ah, Josephine Grace, Canada in the house. And, you know, her message was about the caregivers and who takes care of the caregivers and her book that was released too. Go back and watch that too. Kelly Glover. Miss Glover, who she came on right after, both of her parents passed away during COVID, and she was there for them. She was the caretaker for them. And her strength, her power, her passion. And she came on twice because now she is in the PhD program, Reimagining Education. Bam, teacher, man. I love it. Check Kelly Glover out too. Tish Hartwell, and her stories of God and grace. And this another, in fact, it was Tish's idea. Tish's idea, and she's come on a couple of times, and her husband came on. I would come back to that. I love it. What's this? Oh, this was at Christmas time when we were coming up with different traditions, COVID traditions for Christmas, and all of the fun things that people were making up as we go, because it meant something totally different in 2020. What's this? Oh, River, my buddy, also from California, my tree hugger buddy, and talking about the energy and the vibes from the trees and nature. Another one to watch if you're into that, or even if you're not into that, tune in, go back and watch River. There you go. Dr. Brigitte, she's been on a couple of times there. Oh, yeah, my buddy Charles West, who, I'll tell you what, Broadway singer, music, acting, his commitment. I am the embodiment of infinite possibilities. It was New York City. Everything shut down. And he's coming on in his powerful, powerful talk and the light that he shines. I love it. I'm watching and go back. That, and these are like, what, not even a year transformation. Go back and watch that. A little bit of history here. Oh, and sweet Dora and John Boggs, and her story of when everything shut down and her daughters came home from college and how they made that a celebration, and the different things that they chose to do rather than looking at everything falling apart. They created family bonding. Oh, I love that one. Oh, look, that was September 29th, right there, 2020. And then there was me again. I was like filling in. There you go. Okay, now this was powerful week. And this was dedicated to the mamas, and Tracy Nolan and her podcast on supporting moms during this time and all times, and what it's like to be a mom. And then we coupled her with Denise Geiger, who's also super mom, and also the transition specialist for Leander Independent School District. I love that. I've worked with Denise for many, many years. She's still going strong. And, the special needs kids and the transitioning, all of that. I love what everybody's doing here. Yes, Ann Prince from the Midwest and her passion for chiropractic standpoint, as well as I remember her story about getting to know her neighbor, and then her neighbor passed away. But knowing that, taking the moment to get to know, even though like totally opposite, whatever your political views, but going out and reaching out and getting to know your neighbors during COVID. Yeah. Bill Marino, the ultimate shifter here. I love Bill and all that passion he has for other people, and his overwhelming sense of helping, and his story about the fires. Remember the fires in California? And his story was taking through the fires, doing what you needed to do, and then going home. And oh my gosh, that's another story. You gotta watch that one too. There's Tish again. I love it. Tish is like The ultimate, the ultimate. I mean, I'll tell you what, has gone through so many certifications this year to get herself to be even better coach. And she is out there in the speaking circuits all over the place. And Charles Thomas. Yes, once again on forgiveness. If you notice, forgiveness pops up quite a bit here. As we decided and knew that it was a must through 2020 and 2021. Wayne Forrest from New Zealand. Boy, and I remember him coming on, and he was just getting prepared and up going for his upcoming TED Talks, which he did. And you get to see the behind the scenes work that this man, and also the prayer that he says for himself and others. That was like so tear-jerking. Wayne's prayer as he was preparing to give his TED Talk. New Zealand, go figure, right? Boom, not only New Zealand, but worldwide. Love you, Wayne. What a story, what a story. Then just recently, Lori Harris and her passion for the juvenile criminal justice. You know, she's I don't want to say retired, but district attorney for the Los Angeles. I love it. Go back. That's another tearjerker right here. And her passion for loving everyone right where you are. Darla. And what a beautiful soul she is. And this came when our book was being released, the Short, Sweet, and Sacred, where we were like, oh my God, I forgot about that. We were a bestseller list in 5 countries. That just happened too. You know, sometimes, oh yeah, and I met Darla there, and her passion for the young men in prison who have nobody on the outside that's communicating with her. And that, I think her story just made me cry when she writes to these young men in prison, and she received all these Mother's Day cards, you know, reaching out. And it was from that story of her seeing her son, her going through the gates and visiting her son who was in prison for the first time. What a tear-jerking story, and what she's doing now because she walked through. Wow, amazing. Benjamin Blackett, also on forgiveness. And I'll tell you what, his journey is amazing. He came on twice too, taught us transcendence and becoming a transcendence facilitator in the middle of all of this. But Benjamin's passion on forgiveness of his mom. Yeah, and that's another story. Go in there. There's so many tools here that all of these people have used. Go in, Benjamin Blackett. Clay Boykin, he's my friend who's developed the Circle of Men circle groups. And at Unity Church of the Hills, and my son has been going to that group since the beginning, and all of the men's coming together once a week and holding space for each other, as well as his work in the world that is transformed and is creating men circles all over the globe. Check out his podcast too. Love it. And then Todd came on. Todd Hartwell, he talked about love. Isn't that amazing? Todd, love, and what him and Tish are creating unconditional love, not only for themselves and their family unit, but for the world as they go out and speak. Kevin Carson, my buddy. Yes, Kevin is one of my dancing buddies. I've known him for many, many years. And his podcast, Science and Spirituality, just rocked my boat. Go in and watch this one with the knowledge of turning the science of spirituality. What a gift Kevin is. Oh my gosh. Then Mary Hoofnagel, who I met on a hiking path after I got into kayaking this year. But we were kayaking and she was walking, bumped into her. Mary is a play therapist. Yes. And I've known her for many years from my days of school teaching in Leander School District. Very powerful exercise that she took us through about creating, play, creating to get that calmness. What a genius. Then Kobe. Kobe, he just took us into the simplicity of the law of vibration or the law of attraction. Kobe's been another friend of mine for many, many years, and he came on, talked about what he's doing now. Him and his partner, Carl, oh my gosh, check that one out if you want, like, just like a touch like that about the law of vibration. The simplicity is simple. There's Kelly Glover again. This is what she looks like as a PhD student. I love it. Can you imagine her reimagining education and changing the world? Watch that light bulb go. And then Carolyn Pratt, when we were talking about the importance of doing the inventory work. Inventory, constantly, daily, like, where do I need to shift? Daily. I love it. Carolyn's, and she gave us some tips about how she does her daily inventories to adjust and align. Beautiful, beautiful week. Beverly Brown, my grandma friend from Canada. And her, what she's doing, this passionate grandma stuff, as well as like a lot of other tools. When you're living by yourself, you're of a certain age, and the connections are like, so we're behind the screens. Very insightful, very cool lady with her brain gym. And she took us through some brain gym exercises that she's doing with her grandchildren over the screen. Go figure. Awesome, Beverly. And Anne Fry in her book, When You Want Things to Be Different. Yes. Transcending the status quo, another one of those light sources that are out there. Of course, who can forget Katie Augustine and her passion for the planet and the animals. And boom, 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 man, there's a bunch of tools in there as far as leaving or like your carbon blueprint. I never understood it very well until Katie went in, and she gives you tools where you can actually, things I never thought about going, not idling in the drive-through. What? And her passion for the animals, her passion for the planet. Oh my gosh. And Katie's like that light force too. Also, Cleveland. Yep. All right. Oh yes. And Stephanie Ellison, who talked about the foster children. She was a foster. She knows she's a third or fourth grade teacher in Texas here, small town, and her book, so passionate. Go check this out. As far as your school teachers out there, for those of you starting school, check out this Paradigm Shifters with Stephanie and all that she has to offer. The children's book that she designed to read to children who don't have parents to read to them. Her passion for all the ones she's touching. Love it. Oh, right. And then another week when we came on with Carol Willard and with Crystal, and they were talking about this meditation and the importance of it. And Carol is a ceasing smoking specialist, and Crystal was still doing her work. So meditation was that topic. That was a powerful week as well. Then we had this dynamic where the topic was acceptance, forgiveness, and blessing. And boy, this was a powerful week where we had Karen Beard, Suzanne Keeper, Carol Pittner, Erica Faye, Chicago, and Dr. A. Manginelli. And this was a force where we were talking about this acceptance, forgiveness, blessing. And each one of them, we're talking about Central Texas, Virginia, California, Chicago, Tennessee, doesn't matter physically where you are. Each one of them had a different story on acceptance, forgiveness, and finding the blessing. Power, power, powerhouse, right there. What a week that was. Whoops. I think I ran out. Oh, and then we also had Christy Karate in here talking about the creative side of everything. And I think that's almost everybody. Yeah, no, it is everybody. But if you notice, there's 50. Oh, Lynn Tranchell, she just came on and talked about honoring the journey. So let's take a deep breath in, going back and honoring this journey, this past year of paradigm shifters, where it started as a divine idea. What if? What if? What if paradigm shifters in the next year, we not only doubled the souls we reach, we quadrupled it. Are you with me with that? We reach, we teach, we model acceptance, forgiveness, and ever-growing light. So I would love to end this with peace. Peace, be still, and know. Peace, be still, and know. Just take another deep breath in. Peace, be still, and know. As we expand and exponentially grow into who we are being and who we are becoming. Being at peace with where we are now and who we are becoming. Peace, be still, and know. Peace, be still. Peace, be. Peace. Happy 1-year anniversary. Thank you for the journey within and without. Dream big, dream bold, accomplish brilliantly. Your life matters. Judymatejczyk here. Over and out till next week. Yes.